everything golden. Finding your greatest love, your highest adventures, the joy that brings you into the paradise life that you've always wanted to be living. It all starts with you and going deep inside. Everything golden. Featuring Francesca Rose and David Starr, where miracles come true every episode. Here are your hosts. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Welcome to Everything Golden podcast. And miracles are definitely happening because we have the amazing Staci Michele Kessler in here who is making time to broadcast. Rainbows are everywhere and all of her amazing story. Staci, we are so honored to have you here on our podcast. And we had met Staci last time we were out in Mount Shasta. We did some amazing journeys and connections, and she is a higher consciousness channel. She is one of the highest vibrational beings that we've met. Mm-hmm. And she's an amazing mentor, coach, medium, guide, but super empowering everybody that she comes across, working with masterminds, with books, and getting people into their power. Staci, it's so amazing to have you here. Excited. Thank you for joining us.
We're so excited.
Thank you for having me, both of you. What an honor and a privilege to get to meet you and be with you and play with you the entire journey up a incredible mountain hike.
Yes.
Yeah, with lots of blue rocks and blue waters and blue skies and rainbows and leprechauns.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, it was definitely in this shifting moment and where this new consciousness is coming in. And when we climbed on the top of to the Heart Lake in the Castle Lake, this amazing adventure, well, we certainly saw a leprechaun grove, and that was nothing that I'd experienced before. And they're part of these rainbow councils, and they create these rainbow bridges to these higher dimensions. And so as we're connecting to this all, this magnificent abundance energy was coming in, and it's like, you know what? This is how it is in these higher realms and dimensions, and just bring it through yourself. And we were broadcasting it across the planet, and whew, that was quite some energy for sure.
It most certainly was.
But we are here to talk about your amazing gifts, your amazing story, and if you could share with the viewers because you can really help people in so many ways, and everybody who's listening here is definitely going to appreciate this level of heartfelt communication that you have. It's just so genuine, so authenticity of it is just you feel it when you speak, and you really speak from like the creator love, and that's how I felt when we were talking out there. And so it'd be love to hear from you and about your journey and adventures.
I love that. So tell me, where would you like me to start?
How about at the awakening and sort of some like milestones, some of the things that you've done in your life, how you've helped people? And
okay. So let's see, I'm 57 years old, and I've been with my husband, Mark, since I am 14, and he is 17. When we met, we moved in together at the age of 16, got married when I turned 18, and we've been best friends, lovers, partners in every aspect. We have 2 children that are not really, they're our children and they're God's children. They're adults now. They're 28, and I have one son in the next week and a half that's going to be 30. So we have our little dachshund, and we've had 17 puppy dogs since we've been together in the 42 plus years that Mark and I have been together. And I must say, my gifts really shone through since I was a little girl. I was actually really afraid of um, the entities that I would see. So when it was dark, I could see them even more. Like as soon as my light was turned off in my bedroom, I could see them more. So I was a little afraid of that, and would always request that the hall light be on so I could sit by the edge of the door so that I didn't have to see them or hear them or feel them, because I didn't know what that was. I would get up in the middle of the night, turn my little nightlight on, and journal all the things that were coming to me. And I feel like at that age, I was still getting downloads and I was still getting upgrades. I had probably about 50 diaries by the time I was 11. And I placed them in a box that I didn't realize my mom was going to be cleaning out what we called the shed at the time. And all of my journaling was shed.
Wow.
Gone. That was a little shocking and probably trauma, where I really had to hide. I felt like these gifts that I had, because everything I had tucked away and felt was placed in these pages. When I met Mark, I was 14, as I said, and I feel like he really got to know me pretty quickly, because we'd be driving on I-95 in his car, and all of a sudden, like, I would get my grandmother showing up. She would come in, and she would just share information with me, and I would just start bawling hysterically and having these conversations outward with her. So my quote unquote weirdness, Mark embraced at a very young age when we were very young, and he's gotten to see a lot of different shifts and changes with the way that I have spoken with and to and from and received from what I call my own counsel, right? Mm-hmm. And my ascended masters, I feel like the ascended masters, really in the past 10 years, I've gotten to know more and more about them, because I was so much more open to receiving messages. And the first counsel that came to me in the deities was Archangel Michael and Archangel Raphael, and I noticed them right away, and I even called them by their name, but I didn't even know who they were, which was really odd for me. It happened at like 1:30 in the morning. I was woken up and screaming and yelling and talking back and forth because I was reliving a trauma, and they were there supporting me. So that was my first introduction. And that was, like I said, about 10 years ago. So Mark and I, can I put this where, I guess when the children were younger, they had experienced some unwanted experiences that caused trauma within themselves. Mm-hmm. And that brought a lot to the surface for Mark and I, who were pretty much thinking that here we're doing such a great job with raising our children, little white picket fence and making it all good. And, a mom that always wants to make it always better for you. So I'll fix it here and fix it there. And they did not want that at all once they got to be teenagers. And a lot shifted and changed within the dynamics of this beautiful family that we had been creating. So my husband and I, we went through a transformational program for 9 years, and it was life-changing. It was.
What was it?
It was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Mm-hmm. It's called Gratitude Training. It was definitely awakening, mm-hmm. and transformational. I was doing a lot of traveling at the time. Mark had made a decision first to go, mm-hmm. and be a student. And we ended up finishing together Our sons went through part 1 and part 2. Our younger son went through, and part 1, our older son went through. And Mark and I gave back to community for nearly 9 years in coaching thousands of people that have come from all over the world. That was such a gift for us. It was totally a give back that we felt was only enhancing us to grow, to expand, to clear, because every time we would go into a training and be in a training, of course, there's more to reveal within self through that.
And was this a gratitude training that you were coaching people on?
In the gratitude so we went through our own transformational journey for a good year and a half, and then we stepped into coaching and leading and facilitating. And
so this is life coaching.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And did you incorporate your intuitiveness into it?
I feel like that's all I've known how to incorporate is my intuitiveness. Nothing has ever been anything short of unique, connected, tied in. Typically, who speaks to me is the little girl or the little boy. I hear the inner child. So you could be speaking to me and your inner child, if you trust me, starts speaking over you. And that's all I tune into, is what the inner child is saying. Although I could still hear you. And
Are you serious? That's the coolest gift ever. Oh my God.
I got to experience it on the hike. It was so cool.
No way.
We were like channeling back and forth. It was like, it was playtime for me. She is one of my favorite people of all time. And like, I felt like, a love at first sight thing with you. I've never felt that with another like female in like a fun playing way, like best friends forever. And I never met anyone like you that had these abilities like that. And it was just like so much fun, like finding a best friend that I can actually play with now.
I loved every second.
Me too.
From the time I laid my eyes on you. It was instant connection. I have goosebumps even right now just talking about it. How much fun, and how when you really are tuned in to soul family, there's no thought, there's no anything but true embodiment of how you feel within yourself about you as a human being. David, I got to meet you first. You greeted me at the door.
It's just friendly. So amazing. Like, of the thousands of people that you've coached and mentored, and you're hearing their inner child, how many of them do you feel are not in sync or in tune with their inner child? And obviously you are helping them hear that inner child. And so what do you notice? What happens once they get in sync with that?
Massive transformation happens when they get in sync with their inner child, because I always feel like it is a place where when you connect with your inner child, I call it the reparenting, coming from a conscious being that you are at this time. What would you have wanted as a little boy or as a little girl that you can give yourself now? And I feel like this is how we also heal with our parents, because I always feel we are healing through our parents. And whether you have an open relationship with them where you're able to communicate, or you don't have that, you are able to do it within your own self if that's not a possibility. And so giving yourself everything that you ever desired or what you craved as a little boy or a little girl, I feel like that is the pivotal moment of loving yourself, self-love, and learning how to master that self-love within yourself.
I love that. You should write a book like solely based on like your method with the inner child, because there are no books on that at all. Like, and we do a chapter in 144 about inner child, but like we need like a whole guidebook for people to follow because there's nothing.
Wow, that's amazing that there's nothing out there. You would think that there would be something out there like this. I feel like the little girl, the little boy is always who has spoken to me. And that really, I want to circle back to the question you asked, David, because this is really important. I feel like for us to recognize within ourselves is once we recognize the wounds that we have from our childhood, we are able to become aware of when other people are projecting things possibly onto us, that there is a uniqueness in each person's lens and that we mustn't take that personally. Mm-hmm. I think that that's the biggest challenge for most of us in relationship is we take things personally. Mm-hmm. And when we take it personally, we lose the love and the compassion and the empathy as a being in wholeness, because now we've taken somebody else's projection and created an identity within ourselves, which is what happens when we are children.
Wow, that's powerful.
And it's true. And every time we take what would be considered maybe some form of abusive language, condescending language towards ourselves, or negative, let's just call it negative, and we bring it into our hearts, and like it does take on an identity and a belief system, but it also brings in pain, and when you can let that out, clear all that out. It's been one of the things that I've been really conscious of myself in these years is not allowing negative words into my heart, and it's so easy because we have been conditioned in a way, like just to receive words without blocking them, without putting protections around our heart, because consciousness hasn't really been a focal point until like this last decade, almost, like where it's really coming out now. And so in addition to the inner child healing, is there any advice you'd give anybody on how to protect or how not to allow this in to their heart, not to allow it in, so that not to take on the projection?
Yes, I love that you've asked that. So my specialty in what I feel like God brought me to is silence and stillness. And those are the retreats that I offer to women to come here to soften themselves, to hear their inner voice, and to reclaim parts of themselves in the remembrance of who they are. So, in a way to answer your question, I feel... Can you reframe the question for me? Because I really want to be direct with this question. I feel like it's important.
Words hurt, and sometimes, like you're saying, that they're coming from a different lens, but when we take them in, these projections, it can alter the way we feel. It could really bring us down and really bring up insecurities, and it puts our confidence down, and we believe them, and it makes us feel unworthy and these different things, and it drives us into lack of faith. And so how would you suggest to, like, when somebody is projecting, how do you deal with it? How do you deal with it without having all of this wounding come in?
I love that you asked that. And I just was having this conversation this morning with a friend of mine. So it's funny that you bring this up. I feel like the most challenging part of that is to really be present. When we are present, we can then tune into all the beautiful tools that are out there, whether it's stopping to breathe, taking a moment to really get yourself back in center, knowing who you are, and knowing what your vision is for yourself and what you stand for as a person, I feel like that could be qualified, quote unquote, under confidence. In the inner being, it is all about the embodiment of who I am. If I can trust myself, which is the number one facet of not reacting to someone's reaction, if I trust myself, when I trust myself, I can stop and I can breathe and I can take my moments so that I don't project back what that person just projected to me. So it's either using a safe word, which is what I used to teach to couples, is pick a safe word. And the safe word is not a word to use that you are tapping out of the conversation for good. It's a tap out literally for the moment so that you have the opportunity to get grounded and centered before you say anything that's going to be hurtful and painful back.
I love that.
Amazing.
Another thing that I use now is I just literally stop and begin to breathe. And I remember when I started doing this, my son and my husband would make fun of me because it would be really in a way where it was pronounced, my breathing, but it was the only way that I could tune in back to myself. Mm-hmm. And I first let it annoy me that they were annoyed that I was breathing and they would make fun of me. And then it was the best thing that I've ever done because they began doing it, and it's been a ripple effect in just stopping and closing my eyes and breathing and coming back to peace.
That is
And
so unbelievable that you're showing that you can be different. And we don't have to be these reactive beings. And it's we can normalize something completely unique by just close. You could be in a conversation in a kitchen and some kind of heated thing comes up, and all of a sudden, instead of reacting, you can close your eyes, and all of a sudden they're watching you. You're going into peace, anchoring back into your love, and then it's affecting them, and they're like, "What is she doing?" And anchoring back in, and then it's like this natural way of breaking that energy down, and then going back into that presence of what you're saying, and maybe have a heartfelt answer especially one that is going to be like, that wasn't really kind of you, to like bring up such like an energy. And I'm gonna be in my peace about this, and I would really like you to think of something differently in how you can speak to me. And I'm just gonna go outside and go and sit in the sun and meditate for a few minutes. And I think you should, do some self-reflection. And it just shifts it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of a heated argument, all of a sudden they see you zenning out, anchoring into your peace, not, and they're like, what is happening here? She's just shifting, right? And so that it forces them to react differently and now they're catching on and doing the same thing. And they're like, what an amazing concept. And I love the safe word too. The safe word like is like a relationship, like, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm out. And like a big boundary just got crossed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my way of communicating to you. And it's okay to have these things in place because it's like a foundation of communication.
That's the title of your book, The Safe Word. Like I just saw it like on bookshelves, The Safe Word. And then you go into all these methods. Like
I love that.
I so see it.
And what's great is what you said, David. That's like in the perfect world. What's in the perfect world is being able to do that and somebody not deflecting and getting angry, because a lot of times, I know when I was a little girl, I was trained, not on purpose, ancestrally, that if somebody said something to me and it was a trigger, let me give them that medicine back. It was like back and forth, back and forth. It was like poison for each other. Mm-hmm. And who could be righter in the moment, mm-hmm. right? So, like I was saying at the beginning, it was a little challenging to be different and be that. Mm-hmm. As long as you know what you stand for, what your vision is, and step into that in the moment, that's what I feel is most important, because no matter what anybody's saying, no matter what anybody's doing, they're not going to egg you on to project back at them.
And that's where your retreats come like really helpful, like knowing the vision of yourself, knowing your heart, anchoring into yourself, is would go over a lot of people's heads. But this is why. So can you tell us about these retreats? Like, where do they happen? Do they happen often? And how would somebody go and like reach out to you if they wanted to join one of these retreats?
Sure. It's called Serenity. Gosh, what is it called? It's called Serenity and Peace Silent Retreat. And I just want to share with you a funny story of how it even came about. I was going to do a Vipassana journey. If anybody knows what Vipassana is, it's 10 days of pure silence. And my husband, I said, let's sign up to do this journey. And when I went to do it, Spirit was like, no. And I was like, okay, I think it's really going to be supportive. Did you ever get like a bratty little girl or bratty little boy when Spirit's talking to you and you're like, what do you mean no? What do you mean? I really, and then you're like, okay, all right, I'm going to surrender and I'm going to listen. Because when we don't listen, that's when all of the rejections come up. So it was a pretty amazing journey, because Mark signed up and then he ended up not going. And then one day I'm writing on an old-fashioned legal pad. I'm doing this whole program, writing it all out. And all of a sudden I felt Spirit lift my hand. Fran, I know you must have experienced this so many times. Spirit lifted my hand and wrote Silent Retreat.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, and it was not in my handwriting. It was like in an old, you know how when you get older, they're a little shaky, the handwriting. It was like that kind of writing.
Wow.
And they wrote my address out using my hand. And I was like, what does that mean? And they wrote facilitate. And I was like, facilitate? I haven't even done one myself. What do you mean facilitate? And within a week's time, I decided I'm going to do this retreat. This was 9 years ago. I'm going to do this silent retreat. And I'm going to invite in like all of my closest friends, give a really great discount, and we're going to do this together.
Wow.
Within a week, I had 8 women booked. One is, at the time, she was running for mayor of North Carolina. I had pretty nice, powerful women that were willing to silence themselves so that they can begin to hear themselves. And it was one of the most powerful retreats that I had ever experienced, and the same with them. I mean, what came out and up was incredible, and I'm still friends with every single one of them, and they still always go back to talking about how they thought most of the things were weaknesses that are their biggest strengths today. And some of them are judges, some of them are police officers, some of them ran for high political. So we're talking about women that really grew up utilizing their masculine in a way that they didn't really know how to hear their feminine because of the wounds. Wow. So yeah,
Amazing.
have been practicing this myself, living, eating, breathing, sleeping, silence and stillness. Mark and I have done retreats in our own home for like 8 days and lived in 2 separate rooms. And that was a really big challenge, our very first one as a couple, because you can imagine the thoughts that are going through each one's minds as you're experiencing this and not knowing what the other, it's so much surrender, so much of like letting yourself and letting everything go so that you can literally learn how to live in the present moment. It's all about the present moment. So I decided I love bringing luxuriousness to everything and love to customize everything. I studied to be a naturopathic doctor in my 30s, so I have all of these great different ways of cooking and bringing all of this nutrition and nurture in every way to women, and I love it. And they refer to me as the divine mother when they come and they're hugged and they're held and they don't even know me. They fly from all over the world. Were strangers for maybe a few moments, and then that little girl shows up and I'm like, okay, this is what it is. And then I share and it's spot on for them. And we build relationship. I do a pre-journey, I do the journey, and I do post-journey. I feel like integration's everything. Mm-hmm. So integration is the most important out of everything and anything, I feel, because that's where we're practicing the inspired action that we had while we were in those moments that we didn't even know were possible.
Is it just women on the retreat, or do you do men as well?
We've worked with couples. My specialty now is in working with couples for many years. What I learned, and I know women take a deep breath when I say this, it really does come from the divine feminine and the nurture and being that safe womb space for men to feel safe again. Mm-hmm. And that's after being with my husband for 42 years, I still will take ownership of that. Mm-hmm. We are the womb space. So our emasculation within our own selves is what is projected out in every relationship. Mm-hmm. And I was an A student at that for a little while until I woke up and realized that if I could be the change that I wish to see in every relationship, then anything is possible. And it took a lot of devotion and work to unlearn what I had been trained to learn for so many years of my life and throughout my ancestry as well.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. So, like you're saying, like we are the ones birthing everything in. So if we're coming from a negative place, that's what we're going to birth into our relationship, because we're really the womb space.
Yeah, we're the catalyst to it all.
Wow,
as women. That. So we are not the ones that will fix or heal or, want to have control. That's typically what I refer to as the wounded feminine, whereas mm-hmm. the divine feminine will nurture, be unconditional in her love, mm-hmm. breathe through the moments where maybe the male wound came in and showed up in a place where it was a projection, and learn how to effectively communicate. Communication is the heart. It's the key to it all. This is why we have our throat chakra. This is why, as humans, we're able to have this beautiful gift in effective ways of communicating. Mm-hmm. And our energy that's put behind the words is what's most important, because we could say things and really not be in the embodiment of it. That's why the present moment, again, coming back to that present moment is the most important thing, because if you're able to come back to the present moment, you're able to be so grateful for being here, so grateful to be able to experience the colors of the rainbow, to be able to hold hands while walking up a mountain as first 10 minutes ago as strangers, and trust one another in that holding of one another's hands, standing at the edge of a mountain when you can't see down, and posturing ourselves in positions where all of that stems from trust, stems from the energy that we're projecting, out there, and what becomes the ripple of love and compassion and truth.
Because it allows pure consciousness to come in. And that's what being present's all about.
big breath out, for sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love that
So
all.
much light is coming through right now.
I
And
know.
there's like all of these people who are watching, even though you're watching a replay, things, there's no such thing as time. So there's all these people who are feeling so many emotions right now and are looking for an answer. And there, it is definitely coming in to heal your feminine state, it seems. And so someone is going to begin this journey first. I know they're like, oh my God, how do I reach out to Staci? And so is it okay to put your website, your email, on the details so they can reach out to you, maybe ask for the retreat information?
For
Or
sure. You asked for the retreat. Retreats are held right now. They're held in West Palm Beach, Florida. And we are right on a big, beautiful body of water. Our land is very lush with so much luxury and divinity, and we've had thousands of people come to this temple space, which we call the Temple of the Morning Star, to heal. And I feel like all beings that step on this land are beings that have been on this land before it was this space before. So I feel like everybody that comes is really coming home to their hearts, coming home to the divine love of who they are, and coming home to the divine mother and father.
Love that. Can we see your dachshund?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wait, you have to see her right now. Look.
I saw the legs. Oh my God. I love those kind of dogs.
You're such a good girl. I know we're talking.
Those and I have Pomeranians. Those Poms are my favorite.
This is your new aunt and uncle. Do you want to be cute and show yourself?
Oh,
Cute and show
hiyo. Oh my God.
I love you so much. Mommy loves you. Look, you want to say hi? This is Aunt Fran, and this is Uncle David.
Oh my God, I love. What is it? A boy or a girl?
She's a girl. Her name is Chloe. She has one blue eye and one brown eye, which is one of Mark's eyes and one of mine. It's called heterochromia. So she's got two different color.
Oh, I love that.
It's hard to see. You want to see her eyes? Look, there's the brown and there's the blue. You
so
see,
cool.
they're the same color as mommy's blue eyes, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Say hello. Well, they always say that our pets mirror who we are.
I believe it.
Who we are.
are you saying that you're a nose licker? No, I'm just
you just met me and I kissed you all over, didn't I? All over your face. Kiss and hug.
Is that going on?
In a very innocent way, right? Right? Just saying hello. Yes. Chloe is 18 months and next week she will go in. This will be the first time that we haven't had puppies out of our babies, and she's going to go in and we're going to get her spayed next week.
Aw.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's really fun to have puppies. That was another incredible experience in our life with our sons when they were younger.
Wouldn't it be so hard though to give them up? I'd be so scared about the homes.
You know what? All of them went to friends.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like all of them. We had 10 in total. And
wow.
Yeah, and out of the 10, we kept 2 from there. So we had like 3 different generations. And like, you're being silly. Oh, you're being cute. You're gonna fall off. You're being really cute.
Cute for the camera.
Star of the show.
She is always the star of the show. Yes, the star of the show. You and your little red cape that you wear. I take her everywhere and anywhere. I love it.
That's so cute.
We bring lots of smiles, right, baby girl? Bring lots of smiles. Yeah.
He's awesome. Little lover.
He's a little lover, total lover. Sweet as sweet could be, right? Right. Shake it, you stretching, and do anything to me. She's like a little Gumby. She loves yoga. Her very first, when Mark brought her home as a surprise for me, she was as big as the palm of my hand. She was born the day after Christmas. And when he brought her home, I was actually facilitating a journey for 11 women
Wow.
when he brought her home. So she went right into ceremony
I love
the moment she got home with 11 other women.
It's like, I'm here.
Uh-huh.
Here to facilitate with my
Yes.
mom.
She's definitely a medicine doggy, right? Yes, she knows.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah,
Her vibration is so good. Oh my God.
so incredible. Like she knows even before you say it. It's crazy.
I believe it. That's how my one is. Honey. She reminds me of honey, like just like pure love.
We had a honey too.
Aw.
We had a honey and bunny and Snooky and Mandy and lots of doggies.
Oh, nice.
I love it.
We had
That's fantastic.
all of the 4 dachshunds that we had were Rosie, Jasmine, and Daisy, and Bentley was the boy. And we always used to say that Bentley drives the bouquet of flowers around. And here are the flowers, always blooming.
Aw. So cute. Love that.
So did we answer everything, David?
Yeah, it's really fun. But we also have this ending part in all of our podcasts, which is just called the rapid fire questions, and it's just like as quickly as you can answer, a little bit fun, playful. So I'm going to start. Do you let your inner child eat ice cream for breakfast?
If I want to, absolutely.
And which toy from childhood do you secretly still want?
I still have my little Snoopy from when I was in my crib, actually, and it's on Mark and my bed that we make every day.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's awesome. If your inner child had a job title, what would it be?
Joy.
That's a good job. I am here. I've arrived. Everybody.
And she would speak just like this. Joy. She brings joy to everyone in the world.
And does she have a theme song when she walks?
Theme song. Faith, courage, and wisdom. It's been inside of me all along.
That's original, isn't it?
That's India Ari.
Oh, I'm like, this is an original song. Love that.
He said spontaneous, so I'm being the best I can at spontaneity.
Yeah, exactly. Doing awesome.
Exists.
Who really wins an argument? The one who apologizes first or the one who hides the snacks?
I think who definitely apologized first. They definitely win inside of themselves and on the outside of themselves. And there are languages in apologies that people will receive just like love languages. So there is actually a way to apologize differently by the accordance of how the other person receives apologies.
That is absolutely true. Bang on.
Mm-hmm.
Fran, do you have any?
Yes. Do blondes really have more fun?
That's all I've ever been, so of course.
It's true. What color do you most resonate with?
Pink and purple.
Yeah.
And gold. I love gold.
Yeah, gold's pretty too. Do you prefer leprechauns or trolls?
Leprechauns, Franny, definitely.
Yeah.
Only see them when David speaks of who landed in between us as we were sitting on that rock.
Good old
Ray.
Ray.
That was incredible thing in my life that had happened, seeing Ray just sitting there and me just petting him, rubbing his back, rubbing him and talking. Like talk about being present. She was there and my hand just wanted to rub Ray. So definitely leprechauns.
Not everybody gets to rub a leprechaun's back. It's
I know. And feel his little bottom sitting in your hand either. So
like
that
a
was
little baby.
Yeah, he was definitely there. You could feel it. We're talking about Leprechaun Ray. If people out there don't know what we're talking about, David has a whole story on that. He'll have to do a live and tell about like
the short version was I was talking about how I met the first leprechaun and Ray came down on the rainbow, landed right in between us. Like it happened again in the same kind of way. I was describing how he came down this rainbow and then he was there, and then all of a sudden, Ray's like, "Oh, I did it again." It's like, and showed up, and so Staci was like, "Oh, you cute little leprechaun," and petting Ray, and Ray really liked that. And then he came with us to the Leprechaun Grove. It was just incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's how you got the name Divine Ray. You realized it was all connected.
That was crazy. Remember, he didn't expose his name at first, though.
Yeah, it sounded like an R name. And
yeah. And then when we were walking over to the little leprechaun
portal.
Yeah, the portal of leprechauns was when his name was revealed. And David, that's when because you didn't remember his name. Remember, David, you didn't remember his name?
Yeah, it was like 5 years when I met. Yeah.
Yeah. And the coolest thing is I felt him and Fran saw him. She's like, he's here. I feel him. Oh my gosh. So
yeah. And I could see we could see and feel like all the leprechauns in the leprechaun portal too. There was so many of them. Where was this? On Castle Lake? If anyone wants to go there, you have to like feel the energy there and look like once you get to the water, there it's behind the water and it's a leprechaun grove. You'll be able to feel it.
The water's called Heart Lake, but it's in Castle Lake, and it's a bit of a hike, but amazing once you get
worth it.
Yeah. Epic hike.
Yeah. So, Fran, you got any more?
Yeah.
What you see once?
Do you resonate more with fairies, queens, goddesses, galactics, angels, or humans?
I think you could probably answer that for me, knowing me for the first 5 seconds.
I'd have to say I would say queen fairies. I'd have to put queen fairy goddess together to
those would be it.
Yeah. Definitely fairy energy. We were bouncing around like little bumblebees. And then I'll finish with like one serious thing. What's the most important thing in life? If you were to just sum it up in a couple of words.
Love.
I knew it. It's true.
Love. Yes. And everybody loves differently. So radical acceptance in unconditional love.
Yep. So important.
And radical gratitude. I feel like this journey that we just took, when we were in Shasta and I was on that 18-day womb to my sovereign return, I feel like radical gratitude I was embodying it everywhere. I felt it in every second, no matter what was going on. It was so interesting. I never even used the word radical gratitude. It was gratitude before that. I was working last year on radical acceptance.
Love that.
Like this came in super strong, radical gratitude.
I do the same thing. I work on 1 or 2 things for the year and I choose it and then, I embody it. That's so cool you do that. But like being in Shasta with David, like really, it was heaven, like on earth. I felt like I was in heaven, and then you came into our heaven, and I'm like, of course, we really are in heaven. Staci's here. Finally, we reunite in this life.
Well, and Staci brings this heaven energy too. She has
Oh
this
yeah.
powerful angelic white light, and it's just. And as she was talking earlier, I was like, "Oh," and then I'm hearing her. It's like all of a sudden I'm seeing a whole bunch of disciples, different like people, angels, and this huge white light, and they're just so excited to. They're listening to Staci, and they're excited, like just that she's speaking about like this inner child. Um, and the womb, going to the womb, and all these different things you're talking about. And I was just like, yeah, this is how it felt in Shasta. It was just all of this white light, this heavenly light. And I'm like, and I love it. And so, like, if there's anybody who's bringing heaven to earth, and I know a lot of people are, Staci is literally bringing heaven and the energies wherever she goes. And we'll put a link to her email if you want to check out one of her retreats. And we are so grateful to have the amazing Staci Michele Kessler on our show, and
Yep.
everybody
Yeah.
has been feeling this. Just reach out and ask about a retreat, because that big shifts will happen, not just in your relationships, but just the relationship with yourself and coming into your power. We are definitely giving Staci the 11 stars for heaven.
Oh yeah. She'll shift your paradigm in 5 minutes after you meet her, I promise. And I'm not one that um, says that about many people. Like maybe David only and her. Like that, like I was like, whoa, my whole world was changed in like the most amazing way. So if you can get in on one of her retreats, I would highly recommend it.
Thank you both so much. Thank you
Thank
both
you.
so much. This meant the world to me, to simply spend time again together and reunite again and feel this yummy and deliciousness inside of ourselves, that we are so blessed to be living in these moments on this planet now as our own unique beings and our own unique selves, and what we are gleaning and shining and bringing everything golden with David Starr Unlimited and Francesca Rose as the Earth Angel here. So so blessed.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching. And until next time, stay golden. And
I'm going Omni.
all right. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Everything golden. Finding your greatest love, your highest adventures, the joy that brings you into the paradise life that you've always wanted to be living. It all starts with you and going deep inside. Featuring Francesca Rose and David Starr, where miracles come true every episode.